What happened? So you can see we've torn the front of the bike off to start evaluating the head tube bearings. I thought I could feel a little notchiness when I checked it out, but it really wasn't bad. And so I thought, well, I'll pull it apart and evaluate the bearings. And when I pulled it apart, believe it or not, it didn't look that bad. I'll bring you in here a little close up. Hopefully you can see this okay. But I looked and there wasn't even any rust in here. Maybe because it's such a dry climate down there in St. George that there's not enough rain and water to get up in there. And as a result, the bearings actually have no rust at all, and they actually run really pretty smooth. So I think that we can just do a re-grease, lube them up really good, and save the money. We did anticipate needing to change them, and so we've got a set of steering bearing and seal kit for the KLR, but I don't think we're going to need to use it. So this is one area where we can save a little bit of money in prepping this bike for an adventure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lubricate that really well. I'm going to clean it just with brake cleaner really well first, and then we'll lubricate it up. And interestingly, the top bearing is actually got quite a bit of lubrication on it still. So, and it runs really smooth. I mean, there may be just a little bit of stickiness, but I think that's more from lack of lubrication than anything. Hate to have that, darn it. But so I'm going to clean that whole thing out, and then I'm going to reassemble that all back together. Our fork tubes are done. They rebuilt fine. They're ready to go back on the bike. And so hang tight for me for just a little bit. Let me clean and lube these babies up, and we'll put the head bearing, the head part back together, and be ready to put the forks back in. Okay, so I've repacked the inside of these bearings. I'm going to put more on the outside here, but I packed inside to lube that back up. It's all cleaned up. This bearing is all packed and lubed, ready to slide the shaft in. And so we saved those. No need to replace them. So I'm going to go ahead and slide it back up in there. You guys have seen this before 100 times, I'm sure. And so I'll turn the camera off while I get it all assembled and go to the next step. Hey everybody. I've got the triple tree all back together now. The bearings are all lubricated. I don't have the handlebars mounted yet, but I wanted to give you a quick look. The forks have been completely rebuilt. New seals, everything's super clean. Fork oil was all completed and put in there, and it's ready to go. Now, what we're going to progress onto, oh, by the way, fork oil had spewed out all over the front brake caliper and the speedo on the other side. Sorry about the sun. It's starting to go down out here in the mountain land, and so it's hard to get good clear video here. So next thing, we're going to do like we did on the back. We're going to replace the front wheel bearings, and that means we take off those little covers. There's seals in there. We're going to pop out the old bearings, pop in the new bearings, then we'll remount the wheel into those beautifully cleaned fork tubes, mount up the speedometer drive, lubricate the drive inside, and put the new brake pads on. Then we'll start mounting all that stuff back together, and before long this thing will be back on its legs again.